rekodi kayafunja, nchi yetu kaheshimika. Bingwa wetu Kiptum sasa ametuwaka, ni buriani Kiptum, ulase palipo wema.
Hello and welcome to Jalango TV, where we bring you news updates, and my name is Edimax. President William Ruto is attending the funeral service of the late marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum at Chepkorio grounds. Ruto arrived a few minutes before 11 a.m. and was accompanied by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Ruto and the entourage, who wore black suits, walked as they greeted families and friends of the late world marathon record holder. NOC Kenya President Paul Tagat, World Athletics President Sebastian, Core Athletics Kenya President Jack Tuwei, and World Athletics Director of Communications Jamie Foxx are also at the funeral service of the late marathon record holder. The burial ceremony, which was initially set for Saturday, February 24th, was changed to today, Friday, February 23rd, to accommodate the president's busy schedule. President Ruto was received by CS Ababuna Mwamba and other leaders. Kelvin Kiptum's family were dressed up for their king's burial, which is a state funeral where President William Ruto is in attendance. Samson Cheruiyot, the marathoner's dad, and his mom sat side by side during their son Kiptum's burial. Mzee Cheruiyot looked young in the dapper black suit he wore that complemented his wife's silver dress with a white hat. Samson Cheruiyot, the father of deceased marathon champion Kelvin Kiptum, is living every parent's nightmare with the demise of his only child. Kiptum is receiving a state burial for being a marathon legend who placed Kenya on the global map. On Thursday, February 22nd, Kiptum's dad held his grandson to view his dad's body lying in a casket. The young boy looked at his dad as if that it would be in his last time to see him. The heartbreaking moment left Kenyans consoling him online. Kiptum's wife, Asneth Rotich, sat next to her kids and appeared to be in deep thought during her husband's funeral service. The digging of the marathoner's graveyard was underway outside his wife Asneth's magnificent new house. The funeral service for the late marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum is being held at Chepkorio grounds in Kerio South. There was a somber mood at the ground when the hearse carrying the body of Kiptum made its way a few minutes past 9 a.m. Mourners were given a last chance to pay respect to the late marathon record holder before the official start of the funeral service. There were emotional moments as the hearse carrying the body entered the fully packed ground a few minutes past 9 a.m. The hearse carrying the body of the late Kiptum was accompanied by a convoy of vehicles of family members, relatives, security, and church leaders from his home to Chepkorio. Earlier, the body of marathoner left his Chepsamo home for Chepkorio showgrounds for the funeral service, accompanied by a long convoy led by Anglican Church of Kenya, ACK clerics, his relatives, and mourners. His relatives, who were walking ahead of the hearse, looked emotionally drained following the death of the marathon legend. On arrival, mourners were given a last chance to pay respect to the late marathon record holder before the official start of the funeral service. According to the grief-stricken mother, the first rising athlete was a jovial man fond of making jokes. In an interview with the BBC, Mary disclosed that she spoke to her son on the night of his death and he was joking about the Africa Cup of Nations final. The athlete's body was moved from Eldoret Hospital mortuary on Thursday, February 22nd and taken to Iten grounds for public viewing. His body is set to be interred at his recently acquired 4-acre parcel of land in Naiberi, Uasin Gishu County. President Ruto had ordered the construction of a 3-bedroom house for the athlete who put Kenya on the world map. Kelvin Kiptum was the next big thing in global marathon. Kiptum, who was 24 years, had announced that he would attempt to run the April 14th Rotterdam Marathon in under 2 hours, seeking to become the first man to dip under 2 hours in a competitive marathon. Kelvin Kiptum Cheruiyot was born on 2nd of December in the year 1999 and died 11th of February 2024. He was a Kenyan long-distance runner and the marathon world record holder when he died. He ran 3 of the 7 fastest marathons in history and was ranked first among the world's men's marathon runners. Kiptum won all 3 marathons he ran, including 2 top-tier world marathon majors between December 2022 and October 2023. His times were 3 of the 7 fastest marathon times, setting a course record of less than 2 hours, 2 minutes in each race. Kiptum ran the fastest ever marathon debut at the 2022 Valencia Marathon, becoming only the 3rd man in history to break 2 hours and 2 minutes and setting the 4th quickest time ever. He followed it up 4 months later with the 2nd fastest marathon in history at 2 hours, 1 minute, 25 seconds, 16 seconds outside the world record at the 2023 London Marathon. He was the only child of Samson Cheruiyot and his wife. As a young boy, he herded his family's cattle and began following other barefoot runners along the forest trails. Kiptum started training around 2013 when he was 13 years old. At 11 p.m. local time on 11th February 2024, Kiptum died in a road traffic accident near Kaptagat, Kenya, in which his coach Gervais Hakizimana also died. Local police stated that Kiptum lost control of his car and veered off the road before entering a ditch and colliding with a tree. 4 men who had visited him that day about a contract for running shoes were subsequently detained for questioning concerning Kiptum's death. Former marathon world record holder Eliud Kipchoge said, "I am deeply saddened by the tragic passing of the marathon world record holder and rising star Kelvin Kiptum, an athlete who had a whole life ahead of him to achieve incredible greatness. I offer my deepest condolences to his young family. May God comfort you during this trying time." Kenyan President William Ruto stated Kelvin Kiptum was a star, arguably one of the world's finest sportsmen who broke barriers to secure a marathon record. That is what we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Jalango TV. We will keep updating you guys for what is coming up and what is rising. Thank you so much. My name is Edimax. See you next time.